Hey everybody, it's Erin. Today we are going to do some painting. We're going to make it's kind of like a wreath, but not. It's a front door decor piece. So it's not really a wreath. It's something that you can stick up year round that is catered to your family. So you guys have always seen wreaths where there's a letter in there. Well, I thought, well, why not? Let's do a wood plaque version. And to make sure it doesn't bang up my door, we're going to be adding some felt to the back of this to make sure that it doesn't get damaged and so forth. Now, this is a wood piece. I actually picked this one up from Michael's, and this is a giant letter. And I got this one at Home Depot, but I will find links for you because these are pretty easy to get. I'm sure we can find them online. And again, all the supply links are going to be using down below. Now, I wanted to make this very neutral, so therefore it would be a year-round idea and not something that I would have specifically for certain times of the year. So I am going to start off with just silver. This is an iridescent silver heavy body acrylic paint, and I am literally going to be plopping this on to this wood piece. Just like this. We are going to stencil later on, but for now I am just going to paint, and I am going to do the edges a little bit differently. I'm going to do all like the edges going around here a different color. So I am not going to be worrying about trying to get all the way to the edge. We're going to outline it in black, and I think what I'm going to try and do, I don't know, I'm going to play. Right now the colors I've only picked out are silver because that's my favorite color. You could go with gold and then a black and then white. So I'm keeping very, very what I would call neutral colors, something that you could use year round. So I'm going to go ahead and paint this on. You guys don't need to see me paint. It's pretty standard stuff. And then I'm going to let it dry. After it dries, I'm going to decide if I need to do a second coat on this or not. There is a little groove right here, and I'm not really sure why that groove is there unless it was kind of giving you a balance. Anyway, I like the shape of it. I was thinking about doing circle, but then I changed my mind and I saw this one sitting in the store. And I thought, well, you know what? Let's go with that. Something different. So I'm trying to do something different for the front door that's not a wreath, you know. I like the idea that there's something kind of cool on my front door and that I can make it myself, but I'm kind of sick of a wreath. I have wreaths, and I have them for each season, but then my other thought is, well, you know, now I can stick something up that's not a certain time of the year. All right, so again, keep painting, letting it dry. I think I'm going to do a second coat once this one has dried, just to make sure that it's got a nice good coat on it. Okay, so now I'm going to come in with my letter R while my other piece is drying. Might as well. And I pulled out, I have a couple of these different mats, actually quite a few of them, and I'm just going to come in with the heavy body acrylic paint in spun sugar. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to come in, add dollops of paint. I want to make sure I get into all these little nooks and cracks here. Just really getting in and coating it. I am not going to worry about the back. That is one part that I'm not going to mess with. But getting all of the edges here, I don't want to see. I want this all to be white. And it's doing a pretty good job of coating the very first round. So as long as I don't do anything silly, I think I can get away with just doing one coat with this paint. As you can see right there, it's doing like a job. And if it sees, I'm gonna have to see how much the wood absorbs because this is a raw wood. Okay, so everything is dried. The back part of my plate is dry, this back part. We are going to paint the rest of this a different color, which we're going to do momentarily, but I don't want to get it all damaged. I like the color that it is, so one coat was great. I did a really thick coat and let it dry overnight. My letter is also dry. Again, one coat, and I am happy with it. There's a nice good contrast between the two. So now I am pulling out a stencil from Crafter's Workshop. It's from Rebecca Meyer. It's so gorgeous. I love it. And I thought it was just a great little something. And then the letter is going to fit right in the center of that. So it's just this little hint of something around the edge. The one thing I'm not going to stencil, though, is this little centerpiece because it's just not going to work. All right, so what I'm doing is I am looking at the curve up top. I'm making sure that I am centered from side to side. And I know I'm centered from side to side because therefore I am right in the middle here. So therefore this is not center. So I'm making sure it's center from side to side. And I'm also I'm not centering it from top to bottom. So I'm not going to center it on this middle section. Instead, I'm going a little bit higher because I want it to kind of hit right where that ridge is up above. So it's just a lot of eyeballing, kind of seeing where I think it is. You know, I'm making sure it's level down here. It's a circle, so it's not that big of a deal. And I want this to be super subtle. I don't want this to be like in your face. So I did a silver background, and I'm going to do a sterling silver modeling paste because I don't want it to be, like I said, super in your face. So I'm going to take my modeling paste, And I'm going to come in and just do these edges. So again, it's super subtle. I'm holding my stencil with my hand versus taping it down because I don't want to pull off any of the tape, any of the paint that I've already put on there. I doubt that it would. I'm just being a little overcautious, I think. I'm going to hit all of these lines. The only thing I'm not doing is I'm not doing that center piece right there. And then I'm going to continue adding my stencil going all the way around the circle, and then we'll do the big reveal here in a second. All right, let's do the big reveal. I've wiped off all the excess, and then you just lift. And look how pretty that is. I love that. It's just a very subtle something in the background. And just to give you kind of a hint of where it's going, there you go. But this has got to completely dry before anything else happens. I'm going to go wash my stencil, and then we're going to work on the outside because I can leave the center alone. Okay, so I've let this, it's not 100% dry, but it's getting pretty close. Washed all my stencils, everything is ready to go. And I'm going to grab the heavy body acrylic paint in black licorice in my super fancy jar over here. This is an old baby food container that I use. And I am going to start going in and painting the edges in black just to give it a nice kind of a edge. So just coming in and adding that black border, being very careful to get right up to that edge. And just right where you can see it. And I'm going to continue doing that going all the way around. Now I'm probably going to want to let this sit and dry even longer before I glue down my R. And I don't want to add a whole lot of stuff to this because this is going to be going on the front door. And I want the R to stand out. I don't want it to be something that, what is on there? So that's why I did a nice white color of the R. And then I'm just keeping all the other tones very neutral. So I'm going to keep on painting this going all the way around, making sure I don't have any more of the wood showing. It's looking like one coat is going to do me. This heavy body paint is fantastic to make sure that I get everything nice and coated. So we'll speed this up so you don't have to keep watching me doing this very fun painting job. And then we'll come back and show you how we can finish this by gluing it together, add a backing to it, and also how to hang it on your door. This is all set and dry. Everything is nice and good. I've given it a long good coat. The black sides are dry, and I'm really loving this fun kind of vibe to this. But a tiny bit crooked, but you know what? In the grand scheme of things, nobody's going to notice it. I pulled out a Supertite. This is a Supertite Tough 360 glue. This is impenetrable, waterproof, and I want to use a good strong glue to put this because this is going to be going outside and possibly subject to rain and all kinds of stuff. All the paint is good. The modeling paste will hold up to the weather, so we're good on that. What I want to make sure is that this doesn't come unglued from this while it is outside. So I'm going to put this off to the side real quick. Is that there is a coupon code down below for you guys to get this. It's great stuff. And this one is not kid safe because it does have a little bit more, but it still has a lot less chemicals and a lot less stuff in it that's going to cause any kind of problems like cancer, which is fantastic. So I'm putting a generous amount of glue on all the areas, but I'm staying away from the edges because I don't want it to seep out and cause a problem while this is stuck down to my wood board. So just making sure that all these pieces get stuck together. Good generous amount of glue. This little cap comes attached. You snip off the top and then you have a cap that you can seal your glue when it's all said and done. It's on here, and there is a sheet of felt, and we're going to get to that in a minute, but I'm not there yet. So I got to make sure that this is set and dry first. So I'm going to place this down and then just make sure it's nice and set down. So I'm going to let this sit just like it is for maybe about a half an hour or so, and then I'm going to flip it over and let it rest with the weight of the wood on top and really give it a good seal. You could also put something on top to give it some weight. You probably wouldn't need to put weight, but I just want to make sure that it has a beautiful seal between the two layers of wood because there is some paint and stuff in there as well. So drying time. All right, so this is giving it a little bit of chance. It is now sticking on there wonderfully. I don't think it's quite to the point. It takes a good 24 hours to fully get stuck. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my felts, Kunin felt. This is a little bit of a sturdier felt. I'm going to do a rough cut so that way it kind of gets most of the sections. Here, I can go right against the edge here. So basically, as this piece, because I have glass on my front door, as this piece is sitting on my door, it's not going to scuff and make a whole lot of noise because the felt's going to kind of buffer it a little bit. It doesn't need to be perfect. It's just enough to give it a little bit of protection. So I'm just trimming up right where I need to. So that way it has a little more, like I said, like a buffer. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim this up. All right, so I have this really pretty ribbon that I want to put on here, and I want to make sure that it's really well secured. So I got out a staple gun, and I'm actually going to staple this to this. So now that I've stapled these on, I want to glue my felt, which I cut down to be the right size. I'm going to use that same Super Tough 360 glue and just apply it all to the back and then add the felt. So there we go, so super fun. Supply links are going to be all down below. I'm going to let this dry for a little bit longer to make sure everything is stuck down and super tight. So it's going to sit for probably a day or two, just resting just like this with the felt on the back, everything getting super strong. Don't forget to hit that bell button and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.